Now, my dad has been selling mangoes for 35 years. So, Bar, is this a good mango?
Yes, they got a fragrant mango smell, you know, very good.
G'day guys, it's Thanh the Fruit Nerd, and today we're talking mangoes. Joe, how long does a mango season go for?
August to March, maybe 7 to 8 months.
There are three main varieties of mangoes in Australia: the Kensington Pride, the Calypso, and the R2E2. Now, the Kensington Pride, better known as the KP or the Bowen, is one of Australia's first mangoes. And that's why when most people think about an Aussie mango, they think about the perfume of a KP mango. Now, when you're picking a KP, you have to give it a smell, and it has to be asking you to eat it. It has to be exuding a really strong sweet aroma. You should also look for a very plump waist here at the bottom, which will show that it's very fleshy. And also, there's a bit of lentil spotting. Now, in the industry, people say that this is a defect, but I actually think that these are really nice sugar spots, and it's a sign of maturity in the fruit. Also look for a bit of color. Now, KPs turn yellow, and you want at least 30% yellow color when you're buying your fruit. And when it's 100% yellow, it's good to eat. Now, the one thing that you should look out for when buying a KP is resin canal. Now, it's a disease that makes the flesh black on the inside. You can spot resin canal by seeing that there are some dark black bruises coming from the inside and appearing on the skin. Now, the Calypso mango is known as the farmer's mango because they yield a lot of fruit on the tree. They're really resistant to a lot of disease, and they keep for a really long time. Now, Calypsos have an extraordinary color to them. You can pick them anytime, but what you want to look out for are these brown spots because they show maturity. And also, if they've got a nice red blush on them, then it's actually on the outside of the tree and it's been sun-kissed. So it might be just that little bit sweeter than ones that don't have as much of a blush. Now, you want to eat your Calypso when it's starting to give a little, and it's just a touch soft. If it's firm, it's going to be a little bit immature and not sweet. So this is an R2E2 mango. Now, R2s are exported across the world, from Asia all the way to America, and they're known as the Australian mango because of its big size, good color, and also really good shelf life. Now, R2s are somewhere between a KP and a Calypso. In terms of, KPs give off a huge aroma, Calypsos none at all, and R2s somewhere in between. There's a mild aroma. Now, when picking an R2 mango, you want to look for a mango that is wide at the waist at the bottom, and it's a bit plump because a skinnier R2 is going to be less mature, have less complex flavor, and also less flesh. The one thing that really gives off an immature R2 is the base. So if it's got a V shape rather than a more round shape, it's less mature. So go for the more rounder based R2s. Now, R2s keep for an insane long period of time, but you'll want to eat your R2s when they're fully yellow colored. Now, the best way to store a mango is just room temperature, 21 degrees. It'll ripen naturally, it'll be really smooth and sweet to eat. But if you bought a whole tray of mangoes and you want to keep them, a cooler environment, 12 to 13 degrees is best. It'll keep for a much longer time. Now, if you follow all my tips on how to pick a great mango, don't worry about any blemishes or scarring on the skin because the mango is going to be perfectly fine on the inside. Guys, so this is my dad, John. Now, nearly everything I know about fruit comes from my dad. Nearly everything. Now, my dad has been selling mangoes for 35 years. So, Bar, is this a good mango?
Yes, they got a fragrant mango smell, you know, very good.
Bar, can you cut me a mango? Yeah, so my dad's old school, classic hedgehog 3x3. Let me show you how I cut a mango. So instead of cutting a 3x3, in order to get more texture, try doing, say, an 8x8. Because if you do an 8x8, you're going to be eating through a lot more texture than a 3x3. Now, eating a mango fully flipped, you might get mango all over your face. So I've got one more tip for you. Once you cut your hedgehog, instead of flipping it out, cut it in half first, and you'll have a nice kind of watermelon wedge. It'll be much easier to eat and you won't have mango all over your face.